Yes, guys. So I hope you're able to see the screen now, everyone. Yes. Okay, perfect. So we are, as you know, we are the Becker partners, right? So a lot of the content, the way we brief up the various things, what we take out is from the Beckers, right? And apart from the presentation which I'd be showing today, and really want to thank Becker for preparing this for us and kind of taking on the those particular things. I don't know. I mean, my video is not coming. Okay. Anyways, so what we are talking today is more on the skill sets, what is required, right? So a lot of the profiles what we'll be talking, because a lot of them have doubts on what are the profiles which comes out once you pass CPA or once you pass a chartered accountancy. So what are those profiles which we kind of come across? So before going into those profiles, first understand what is a big four, right? So there are top four companies in this audit companies or the audit firms in this world. Like we have Deloitte, KPMG, EY, and PwC, right? So in that way, so these four big fours typically kind of have their divisions across all over the world, not only in India. They have all over the world, and that's why kind of Pratmesh is not able to hear me. Guys, are you able to hear me? Others, are you able to hear me properly? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So if you see that, so there are four so big fours what we talk about, and the fifth one is BDO, and the last one is Grant Thornton. So these are top six accounting firms in the world. So now how are they structured? So all the big fours have different profiles and different divisions of it. So when you see KPMG, they have a KPMG advisory, right? And KPMG has in their advisory management consultancy, risk consultancy. So there are different consultancies which are there. So previously we used to call something called as internal audit. Now we don't have internal audit as such term in Big Fours. Typically they are being known as risk advisory services. So gone are those times when we used to call internal audit and all. Now we typically call them as in risk advisors. So these are certain things which are there in risk advisory, consultancy advisory. Then you have something called as IT consultancy also, where they provide their IT services and all sort of stuff. All right. Apart from these three divisions, what we have is the assurance, which is popularly known as the statutory audit of India. Right. So what you might hear in your book, read in your books, is something called as statutory audit. So that is popularly known as assurance in Big Fours. So they are known as assurance. And then you have a taxation area. Separately, you have a legal team and all sort of things also. And these are some of the divisions of the Big Four. The popular ones where the hirings continuously happen and where there are a lot of positions open are for the audit and tax. So these are the two primary kind of things. Apart from that, they have their advisory services, accounting advisory services, where they give the IFRS implementations, US GAAP implementations. So these are those particular advisory services. They are different from risk advisory, which is nothing but internal audit and all sort of stuff. Accounting advisory deals with IFRS and US GAAP implementations. So these are the popular profiles, or I would say these are the positions with the Big Four. And I am just confining this discussion only to our accounting roles. All right. And then we have, this is for say CPA and all. Then for CMA, they have their internal FP&A department. So they hire something for financial planning and analysis, but they don't do it for clients. But that is for the internal Deloitte or KPMG internal or PwC internal or EY internal, Grant Thornton internal, and BDO internal. So these are the internal FP&As which the Big Fours kind of hire for. Normally, typically in an industry, how you go it. So suppose I'm doing an Infosys hiring, right? So today when I'm doing a Infosys hiring, so what I would be seeing is in the FP&A. So we would be seeing that what is the FP&A, what is the FP&A role which comes in Infosys is you analyze the Infosys accounts. For an example, in Infosys, you might have Apple as their top customer, right? So what you as a financial planning and analysis guy, you would be expected is to analyze the Apple account. So what is the Apple's revenue and all, right? And how much this Apple revenue have increased? What is the cost levels? What did we do? So we have in all these companies account-wise FP&A profiles. Can you believe? For each and every account, there is a position. There are 20 or 15 people being hired. Now, I have seen in Accenture, Capgemini, Cognizant, we have a lot of the people there who are being hired for that particular role only to manage the account. So, like 2, 3 years, they manage the entire account of that particular thing. Right. So that kinds of speaks about what all are the profiles when we are talking about. So these are certain profiles which we come around in Big Fours. One is FP&A, one is accounting advisory. So in accounting advisory, as Akshat is asking in one of the questions, so in accounting advisory, you take people who are IFRS experts, all right, who are diploma IFRS, who have done or certified IFRSs, and also who have the core technical literature. They are being hired in accounting advisory, or sometimes a lot of the times even US CPA or chartered accountants are also hired if we don't have the talent. All right, but most probably you will see reporting profile, financial reporting, which comes under accounting advisory services only. And then you have direct tax, indirect tax, and that is all India's division. Today what our discussion is more on the US Big Fours. All right, the Big Four's GDS operation, which is what you mean by global delivery services or global shared services, is their US work of Big Fours gets outsourced to India. Now, why is it so much in demand? The relationship between US and China have kind of deteriorated, and that have led to the demand for this work to be outsourced more to India, because not much of the work is now going to China, right? And that's where in India the lot of the work of US is coming here, and we people are kind of supporting the US teams from from India. So here the hiring, these are all known as offshore divisions. So whenever you kind of understand, are you applying for Deloitte India or are you applying for Deloitte USI? So when we talk about Deloitte USI services operations or AERS, which is popularly known as, so these people kind of support the US team. So their backend and their outsourcing divisions or their outsourcing work is rather outsourced to India, and we support it from here. Right. So that is what is the global delivery services. Is it? It's not only with it's not only with what we say with respect to the audit work, but also with respect to taxation work, and that's where enroll agent plays a very big role in India. So you might see that so many tax positions are getting opened, and EA is playing a very huge role. That the US tax, if you see the enroll agent qualification, that is being certified by IRS, right? So they are the ones who kind of represent the clients before the income. There as the IRS, there you kind of know it there, right? So where there you represent the clients in front of them. So that's where enroll agents are very popular in US and in India, because a lot of the taxation work also gets outsourced to India. For that matter, in US, EAs are also respected. So that is about CPA, EA. Now I come to CFA. So when I'm talking about Big Fours, where do they hire the CFAs more? So typically the CFAs are hired more in their valuation work. Right now, I didn't speak about valuation services of Big Four. So normally a lot of the times amalgamations happens, acquisitions happens, mergers happens, and all sort of things, right? Reverse acquisitions happen, spin-off happens, leverage buyouts happen. So that time CFAs and all are being hired in their valuation department, popularly known as the valuation department in GDS. There is something called as transaction advisory services also, which is there in the Big Fours. In EY, there is a transaction advisory services in Indian operations, where they calculate what is a tax which is being levied in that merger or acquisition. So popularly, these are all known as the mergers acquisition profiles only. But then in valuation kind of thing, you really need to be a registered valuer, RVA, or which is the one which ICI is providing, and now NACWA, the one of US, which provides the valuation certifications, right? So these are the bodies which kind of provide this. So if you want to go to Big Four with a CFA qualification, I think your only I would say your hot profile in Big Four should be the valuation profiles, right? So these are the profiles where they do the valuations. So this is a very stressful profile, as expected from a CFA. Typically, they are being hired in investment banks. In Big Fours, they are more into valuation, doing all the model valuation and financial modeling, right? Black-Scholes model, derivatives, complex derivatives. These all the things which they do it in the valuation department, considered to be one of the finest profiles among all of them in the big fours. I would say valuation profile is really amazing, but then the positions are very, very less. So if someone is doing CFA and looking for a valuation profile, I would say, because we placed one of them, if you see in our website, she was not a student, but she was a CFA and she approached us and I placed her in Deloitte valuation team. So she was a chartered as well, apart from CFA. You might see Latika, who's there in our website. You might, if you go through Samandar Education website, you would see Latika Arora there as a CFA expert, right? So she is the one who have done CFA and chartered accountancy, and we then placed her in Deloitte valuation team. So that's where the valuation profiles are there in this particular qualification in CFA. Apart from this big fours, so this is about the global delivery services of big fours and their hierarchies of that and their divisions and service lines. So as we are discussing, we have advisory, we have valuations, we have audit, all right, and then we have something called as consulting services, where they provide different consultancies like risk consultancy. They provide something called as I've already discussed, IT consultancy, risk consultancy, and advisory consultancy like IFRS implementation, US GAAP implementation. So these are sort of things which are there in this particular, uh, what do you say, big four divisions. The major revenue comes from audit for all the big fours. I think audit is a major chunk for them, and then comes the consultancy and advisory services, right? So now I'm going through each and every qualification per se in this particular thing. Why we are discussing in corporate grooming, why are we discussing about qualifications and their profiles? Because as the first theme of corporate grooming was, do students really understand the profiles, right? That is the first question. Because today I don't want to discuss about CPA, CFA, FRM, CA, ACCA and all sort of things. But as per our grooming objective, do the students understand the profile or not? And then from that profile we can connect to their qualifications, right? Like ACCAs are more being hired in UK accounting and UK taxation, right? Same way US audit or US taxation, you would see CPAs and EAs playing a major role. Then CAs we have all for the Indian audit, Indian direct tax, indirect tax, and all sort of Indian companies. You might find chartered accountants there. Even CAs are being hired in US companies also, because there is huge shortage of CPAs and CMA USAs and all in India. So normally you would see that they are being hired more in those companies because of the shortage of the talent, right? Strictly talking, so these are certain things which you'll need to be aware of when you're going to the interview. Before going to the interview, I think the first important thing is you kind of take up the profile what you're going to. A lot of the times students give their interviews without even checking the job description. So always have a habit of asking the interviewer, please give me the JD, because this is your future, this is your life, and you're spending your entire life on that profile. So you don't want to select a profile which doesn't interest you just to get a job. Don't go into a profile and kind of stick to that, right? You want a profile where you can do justice, where you can kind of have interest and maintain that interest also. Now the question comes, sir, I am very much interested in valuation, but I'm not getting valuation profile since 1.5 years. Then what should I do? Then I should definitely look for other opportunities and all. Definitely it can happen like that, that you might need to look for the opportunities. So sometimes what happens, I tell to students that when they are getting job, they can join there, get some experience, and always switch the profiles as well in the future, right? If you're not getting it after trying a lot, but you can't stick to one profile also. If you're not getting it, you can't just sit at home for 2 3 years and then kind of waste your experience also. It is important that you give time. So 2 to 3 months if you give time, and then kind of think about it ki, okay, we are not able to do that. So I think then we can kind of talk about that. So this was my first agenda about big fours overview. When we are talking about big fours, we are talking about Deloitte, KPMG, EY, and PwC. So that was the first agenda in today's corporate grooming session, which I wanted to talk about. That you will need to kind of, so Yashita is asking, sir, what about transaction tax advisory? Yashita, this is not applicable to international qualifications. So typically when we are talking about transaction tax advisory, it is more towards for chartered accountants and all, because there the knowledge requires is of direct tax and indirect tax, right? So when acquisition happen in India, so you must be aware that what is a taxation element being kept on that particular case, right? So if you're a chartered accountant, I think that's a very, very good profile you would like to go in and kind of do it. Again, always going to audit also is, I would say, sometimes if you're not getting anything, then audit is a good option. But if you're not, I mean, if you're getting something, then these are the hot profiles. Transaction tax advisories, these are very, very good profiles where you kind of get a good knowledge about the transactions, about the valuations, about the mergers, the swap ratios, the documentation, and all sort of stuff. So this is what is a very, very important thing. Second important thing in our agenda after our first thing about Big Four overview is the global qualifications, which we are talking about, right? So now when we talk about a lot of global qualifications, so there are tons of global qualifications, like we have certified financial, certified fraud examiner, then we have certified internal audit, then we have FRM, financial risk management, then we have CFA, right? Then we have CPA, then we have ACCA, right? So these are all international or the global qualifications. Enroll agent, which is a very, very popular US tax qualification. So these are the global qualification, guys. So I would see that a lot of the time. So like Madhu, I've asked one question: what is the scope of FRM at present and future? I would tell that the scope is really good of FRM because the risk management profiles are growing in abroad, and a lot of the people are looking, a lot of the companies are looking for people who are able to manage the risk properly. So I would say financial risk management, you are seeing that COVID which have come today, the COVID risk which is there already, right? So you will need to handle the risk properly. That risk management is very, very important. Forex risk, market risk. So there are variety of risks which you are talking about. I have to just given 2 3 options, right? We are coming across so much volatility in the market, and I would say FRM is a very, very good bet if people want to settle down in UK, Europe, and all those countries. I would say FRM is definitely accepted. In India, I think the demand is really good, but you would need to do along with a CFA, right? If you're doing a FRM standalone, the job opportunities in India is not so good, to be honest, because FRM standalone will not be there. You will need to do some kind of experience along with FRM and and if you don't have a CFA, then you would kind of have to get some experience in kind of FRM and kind of show your talent there, right? A lot of the people are asking questions on diploma in IFRS by ACCA, right? So along with chartered accountancy, can we do a diploma IFRS? Definitely yes. I think diploma IFRS is a fantastic combination. Even with a CPA, I would say if a person wants to do a core IFRS specialization or IFRS specialist, I think diploma IFRS is a fantastic option. Even for qualified chartered accountants who want to get like certificate in 3 4 months, I think diploma IFRS or certificate IFRS is much recognized. We have AICPA certificate of IFRS and we have ACC also. Everything is very good, and they have their own advantages also. So IFRS, again, because a lot of in India, every company is adopting Ind AS, which is replica of IFRS. So the demand is really huge. And that was one of the logic of me bringing in Simandar IFRS rather than ACCA, because I really felt that what an ACCA gets, diploma IFRS also gets the same only, right? There is not much difference because they are hiring ACCAs because they want IFRS experts. So if you're a diploma IFRS, you will be considered equal only to ACCA. That's what I have seen from the recruitment, because we are so connected with the corporates. So no offense to any of the ACCA people or anything, please don't take me wrong, but that is what the corporates have said me when I go for the recruitments. They tell that Sripal, even if they are diploma IFRS and they are having some US CMA along with that or any good qualification along with IFRS, you definitely consider them, right? What about CA plus CISA? Now CISA is a very, very good. Now we are having a cyber security session, guys. I would really, really tell you to attend that session. That session today I will disclose, because I was not disclosing to my students. KK Mukhe, who's the co-founder of Network Intelligence, he's giving a session on cyber security on August 28th next week. This is one of the hot skills in demand. The data security, data privacy, these are all very, 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 very much in demand nowadays. And that's where we are doing a free session by calling the cybersecurity expert, who's from Network Intelligence, and KK Mukhe, his name is, and he was also in the Kapil Sharma show couple of weeks back with Sonu Sood. So he is coming up exclusively, and kind of we have been tied up with Institute of Information Security, where we are doing a session exclusively on cyber security skills, and people who want to explore the IT part or the technological part. I would say cyber security is the next boom which is coming up in the market, right? Along with your standalone qualification like CPA, CMA, HCA, CFA, and all. I think this IT courses like CISA, cyber security, right? This COSO, these controls, these are very, very helpful qualification, even for that matter, certified internal audit. So people who are passionate in internal audit, who are passionate in information technology, who are passionate in exploring the audit part of the audit piece, I would say this is a session which you must definitely attend on 28th of August. It is free webinar. As always, all our corporate sessions are not at all chargeable. So I would really encourage people to attend that also. Because since some of them have asked me on CISA, I have disclosed, I think a lot of students are also there from our institute. So they might be seeing about this webinar. I think this is one of the very, very important webinar which is coming up. Right. Sir, please explain some strategy and operations department in Big Four and eligibility criteria. So there are not any strategy and operations department as such in Big Four. I've not heard about that. So I'm not so clear, Yashita, what is the question about? Because can you just be little more detailed so that I can go in and explain that? Okay, does FRM would help in better opportunities in internal audit? I don't think so. I've not seen FRMs going into internal audit unless it is a bank related internal audit. Like Standard Chartered Bank, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, they hire FRMs plus CIAs, Certified Internal Audit, or FRM plus CPAs in their internal audit division of their banking. Because all banks by default, their audit division need to have a good knowledge of managing the risk and all. So thereby, if you're asking me if FRM would help in better opportunities in internal audit, it needs to be complemented with a CPA or some other qualification like a CA or anything in order to crack that, or a CIA also. CIA plus FRM also would give you a good combo. Sir, can you elaborate more on the techno-functional roles for CPA? So now this was about the primary global qualifications which we have discussed about: CFA, ACCA, CPA, CMA, CIA, CFE, fraud investigation audits. You see that you would see CFE is playing a huge role. A lot of the students have asked me on CFE as well. That is also very good, but the only issue is that the demand or the profiles which comes into are not so much. I would say then CIA would be a better choice for the people than CFE sometimes, right? So now when we are coming about techno-functional roles, like SAP experts are there. So sometimes what happens, you're a CPA or a chartered accountant, but you are being put into functional roles of implementing the SAP, Oracle, and all sort of things. So these functional roles will help you around and and you would be there in their functional consulting roles where you have a domain knowledge. Like I started in Infosys as a functional consultant, as a domain expert, where I used to implement Oracle financials, Oracle R11i, R12, Fusion I have worked, SAP FICO I have worked. So these are hot things what are coming up. So these are very, very important things when you're going into any company. I think I would say SAP Oracle certificate is a must. So people who are looking for a technical side, and if they are asking me learning Python or data analytics and all, I would say you don't need to become a technical expert or run coding and all, but fundamental knowledge about data analytics, some certificate you should definitely do in order to get that, right? SAP Oracle data analytics is the new, I would say, in much in demand, but I don't think so that one needs to spend around 2 lakh 3 lakhs for data analytics, which the IM courses, a lot of them are kind of misguiding and selling those things. I don't think so that that is worth of 3 lakh 4 lakh. I have seen a lot of these lesser pricing also, and with a greater value and certificate also, it adds to your value, right? So you will need to check around those and kind of see it. So these are some of the technical skills which we are talking about. Sir, from where we can get this basic certification for such technical skills? We have some AICPA certifications which we have, and we are tied up with AICPA. I never marketed those technical skills because I always believe that people should first focus on CPA, CA, CIMA, or whatever the qualification, and then we can kind of, once they get into job or before they are getting into, we would kind of offer it. But in our AICPA portal, we do offer all those technical skills like you have data analytics, data forecasting, BI, Power BI. So these are all there, right? Python is the new thing which is there in data analytics, but it's a big thing, Anil. So it is not that something which is a very small thing. So you need to be precise and just find out in Udemy also if you can get a good certification on that. But these are the hot skills, right? Uh, Manish is asking, Sir Sripal, I am from IT background, DevOps engineer, have some background about cybersecurity. So wanted to know on the session on 20th will be basics or more insights. I think Manish, such a big leader is coming. So definitely it will not be a basic session. He would definitely speak about the industry also. All right. So suggested sites for acquiring the certification. So I would say Udemy is a good Udemy, Unacademy. I don't think so. Unacademy is little costly, I feel. Udemy is good. And you can check in Udemy if you're finding it. And we also do it with AI CPA, but I can just connect you to one of our executive and they can kind of brief you about this technical skills, but technical skills certificate, which is being given by AI CPA. You can offline, we can just send you. If anyone have doubt, they can contact us. And those technical certificates which I'm talking about, data analytics, blockchain, robotic process automation, RPS, there are very, very good certificates which are being provided by AICPA and good content. So I have worked around with AICPA last week only on all those certifications. So offline, once you kind of contact us, we would kind of give around those details. And you can find out that in AICPA website also. It's just that the pricing becomes little competitive with us because we are their partners in India, so might get it at a lesser cost. But then if you're feeling that this is a little costlier, you can definitely go towards Udemy or Unacademy or CA Club India, where you can find it. But just see that the certification value should be there. Now in AICPA, the value of the certificate is good because AICPA is one of the biggest accounting body in the world, right? So wherever you're doing whatever certification, guys, you must be aware that that certification should have value to it. Now, when we do diploma IFRS, we do it with BDO. So BDO ka certificate is very, very valuable in the market because you are doing it from a big five. So we give a certificate of participation also once they complete the DIP IFRS program. So these are some of the certification skills which are there. Now, what about CISA? We have already covered. And then we have CIA. We have already covered CFA, CPA, SSCA, CIMA. And CIMA UK is also there. But nowadays, USCMA, as USCMA is more into demand and being more advertised. I thought CIMA UK, though we don't provide any training, but that was a very good course that is there in, I mean, in law. It's been years since CIMA is there in India, but I've lost some of its charm here. But I thought the content of CIMA was really good. The UK CIMA, which was there, I'm not sure right now how is it, but we provide trainings for US CMA. So I don't have much ideas on CIMA UK, but it's a good course. If someone asks me about that, if they want to go into management accountancy, US CMA, FP&A, I would say only US CMA is the best or CIMA is the best. I don't think so. CFA does a good job in financial planning analysis. They do a very, very good job in equity research, in financial analysis, in CRISIL, ICRA, and all sort of things. Internal FP&A, don't waste your CFA degree there because that is an internal FP&A where you are trying to find out why my revenues have increased. There are a lot of insights and there is a core FP&A profile. For that, US CMA is more adequate because that requires costing knowledge, management accountancy knowledge, right? So Pratmesh, I think that would be, if you're looking for CFA plus US CMA, that's a good combination, right? So credit agencies are the ones who kind of look for CFAs in their FP&A work, but industries, I really don't think so it is there. Dhruv, I think this is going live on YouTube currently. So recommended sites for DIP IFRS, what would be the best time to obtain? Prachi, we do provide DIP IFRS. You can check on our website, you will find that. Anyways, so next, when we come around, our third agenda after the global qualifications is what is storytelling technique, right? So we, storytelling, when we talk about, this is a very big skill, right? So about storytelling, if someone asks me, okay, so some of them are asking me, sir, does CPA gives opportunities in audit and all sort of stuff? What do you think about CIA? Not much relevant. So see the profiles. Are you able to see my screen, guys, everyone? Yes. Is everyone able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll just So if you see this, these are what I was talking about: actuarial accounting, right? Capital budgeting, environment and sustainability accounting, which is a new accounting which is coming up. This is a future of next accounting, what we are talking about. This is being covered in CA final also, in our financial reporting paper. Environmental and sustainability accounting is the next accounting which is coming. Forensic accounting, which we have already discussed about, certified fraud examiner. Then we have accounting information systems and technology, CISA, and all sort of stuff comes in here. Business valuation, CFA plays a very, very good role there. Personal financial planning. So these all areas, actuarial, you have an actuary course also in India, which is there, very, very tough. Statistics related thing. It's not an easy exam to pass an actuary. It's a real tough exam, right? If you're looking for an actuarial accounting, I think you'll need to be really good in mathematics in order to crack that actuarial exam. Very, very good certification, I would say. So if you see there, previously financial accountants used to do transactions, debit, credit, accounting, reconciliation, regulatory compliances. Now we have management accountants who are doing the budgeting, planning, controlling. That's why you are seeing US CMAs. I have seen last week US CMAs, we have placed them at 11 lakh package, a fresher. Would you believe? Fresher, I would say Gokul. I would not say Gokul as fresher. You can see our Simandar Education LinkedIn page. We placed Gokul at 11 lakhs in that company. But what was that was, uh, he had given a 10 months of internship with HP, but still I would say that's a fantastic. And he was interviewed for almost 4 hours, right? And if you see there, they have given a lot of weightage to his USCMA qualification. It is all about how you present it in your interview, how good you are when you are articulating your skills in budgeting, planning, controlling. And he was fantastic with his capital budgeting skills. It was fantastic the way he was talking about NPV, IRR, and all sort of things, right? So he was just a USCMA. Let me tell you, and yes, a lot of the USCMAs we have placed at 6.5, 7.5 lakhs packages through our connections and all. But to be honest, they are normally placed at 4.5 to 5.5 lakhs. But just that these exceptions always come up, and we have always tried to rest assured that the people are placed at 5.5, 6 lakhs packages at USCMA also. That is a kind of good, I would say, a good average CTC when you're drawing it. If you're a little experienced, like 1.5 year, right? So budgeting, planning, controlling, cost accounting and decision making, analyzing and interpreting financial information. So these are what the CMAs does. So cost manager, management accountants and private accountants, right? So these are the ones who kind of go for it. I think I think we are losing the connections. Just a second, guys. Okay, I think we lost. Guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, we are able to hear you.
I think there is some disturbance going on in Zoom. So I don't know what's happening in Zoom. Okay, can I just restart? I'll just restart the system again. Okay, just give me a couple of minutes. I think I've lost the connection. Just a second.
Hello.
Hazaki.
Yeah, you're there. Hi.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think sir is having some technical issue with his laptop, so he will be back, okay, in 5 minutes.
Okay.
So kindly just, uh, sorry guys, you just have to wait some 5 minutes max.
Sorry for this technical issues.
Yeah.
Hope everyone understands. It's raining and cloudy, right? So thanks for the support, guys.
Yes, hi guys. I'm back. Sorry for that technical glitch. Are you able to hear me properly, everyone? Yes. Zaki, you're there into the meeting, right?
Yeah, sir, I'm there.
You just monitor it because I'm not able to share
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
screen because of some technical issues, I think, in the laptop or somewhere.
Sir, I have made you the host now.
Yeah,
You can
okay.
do it now. Yeah.
I think I'm not able to start the video because the host has stopped it. Uh, can you just switch on the video mode, Zaki?
Okay, sir. Just a minute. Can you just, sir, can you just make me the host once?
Just a second. I'm not able to click on that actually.
Yeah, I'm the host now.
Zaki, you are the host. Please check.
Yeah. Just a minute. I'm checking it.
Yes, guys. Meanwhile, okay. Yes, meanwhile, when Zaki checks the video mode, we don't want to waste the time who are already there. Yes, guys, at least you are able to hear me properly, right? If not, see me. So, meanwhile, when Zaki is kind of doing that fix of that, so yes, so we were in that particular phase where we were talking about the forensics and all sort of stuff. So what we are discussing here is not only from the profile perspective, on the qualification perspective, which we have already covered, on the management accounting where I left around, right? On the planning, budgeting, and the analysis. So CMAs, US CMAs, which is so previously we used to have a traditional accounting, and then we went into the management accounting stuff. And after the management accounting stuff, we went into a little more sophisticated of valuation services where CFA and all came into emergence. Then we are seeing the US CPAs covering up the audit and all sort of stuff. So where we are seeing that US CPAs are being hired a lot in the today on LinkedIn. If you see there, right, Deloitte USI is hiring, BDO is hiring, KPMG is hiring, PwC is hiring for their audit operations. So in that way, I would say US CPA dominates the entire US audit services in India currently, and Big Fours only hire CPAs there, not ACCAs or so, unless it's a UK accounting related stuff. So there you might see EY has a more exposure to UK accounting. So there you might see that they kind of the one who hires the ACCAs there, right? So one more important thing, if you see there, so one question which is coming up is, sir, if I join the Big Four's global assurance practice as a senior associate, what is the scope in foreign countries of that experience? Definitely, yes, there is a good amount of exposure is you have already got in India, and then switching over from that Big Four is very easy. See, if you are going standalone and looking for a certificate like that, then it is really tough, right? If you go for a certificate and then apply for the degree and want to go abroad, that's a very big headache. Rather, what you do is you kind of clear that qualification, join in a local Big Four here, right? And then in that Big Four, if you work for 1 or 2 years, through that Big Four only you can switch over to other countries. Like I've seen a lot of my colleagues who were working in the assurance division and all, and then through that Big Four only they were actually sent to various other locations, right? Like in EY, we have in Middle East and all, in UK as well. So here, when you go into a Big Four, through that Big Four only, that company only will send you outside. Then you kind of applying for, I would say, a certification, or I would say a study, a master's degree there, go there and apply on a study visa. I would say this is a very, very good method of working in the Big Four for 3-4 years. And through that Big Four internally, you can shift. Does it make sense, Manoj, for your question? I hope you are able to understand that. Yes. So I'll just raise. I would kind of Zaki, if you can just unmute some of them so that they can take up some questions before I move on to storytelling, which is our last topic today in today's grooming. All right.
Sure, sir.
Big Four overview, global qualifications, and the third important thing is into the storytelling, which I'll start after some of the questions. I kind of close it in the next 10 minutes. Yes, Aki, just
Yeah, sir. Madhu, hi Madhu. Madhu.
I think Madhu is unmuted, right? Or is
Yeah, yeah, she's unmuted. Madhu is unmuted. So okay.
Yes, can you just unmute others, because
Yeah, okay. I will unmute Pavan. Hello, Pavan. Pavan.
I think, guys, you will need to unmute at your end also, apart from, yes.
Yeah, Pavan.
Yeah, Pavan, go ahead. I think you can mute Pavan also, actually. I think they've just raised hands, I guess. Deepika, Zaki, just unmute Deepika there.
Sure. Deepika.
Yeah, hello sir, good evening.
Good evening, Deepika. Yep.
Yeah, sir, can you please guide me how to apply for a abroad job?
Okay. So, Deepika, what is your current qualification and which company you're working with?
Sir, I'm working in Mumbai Datamatics Business Solution, CPA in December.
Okay. So, what's your qualifications, Deepika?
Sir, I have completed my BCom and CA Inter.
Okay. So, now you're working with an Indian company here, is it?
No, sir. Actually, it is a KPO.
I have lost the company name actually because the voice was disturbing. So, can you just repeat the company name once more?
Sir, actually, it is a KPO.
Okay. Okay, so Deepika, how it happens is if you're willing to go to abroad. So now when I'm talking about abroad, there are a lot of countries. Like tomorrow, Kapil will kind of talk about more about the visas and all the second day of our corporate grooming. So I would not go much into that details, but yes, because I'm not that visa expert, and that's one of the reason why we called Kapil tomorrow. So where he could kind of throw light on that particular thing. But going abroad again, you would need to understand which country you want to go. When you're talking about abroad, is it Canada, US, Australia, or what? So if you're looking for Canada or something like that, then you would need to write an IELTS exam, which is an entrance exam like TOEFL and GRE kind of stuff, and get a minimum score of 8, and then you can move to Canada on an express entry visa route, provided you have certain amount of experience, 1 or 2 years, which would kind of make your life easier in Canada. And there you kind of go there and search for jobs, and then kind of find out those opportunities. So a lot of the students, what they do is they go on a study visa there and then convert that into a work permit. Are you getting it, Deepika? So that
Yeah,
should
yeah,
be
sir.
an
Thank. Yeah.
ideal route if you're going through. But if you're looking for directly applying for a company in abroad from India, that is very, very difficult, I would suggest. That is not going to happen at least for next 3 to 4 years because of strict immigration laws which are coming up. Every country wants to give opportunity to their own employees, so they don't want to give an opportunity to outsiders, right? So that's where you will find a challenge there, and you might kind of do a better job in that way, right? So better
Sir,
apply
hello.
for a study visa and kind of move there, and then that's how you can do it.
Sir, if
Yeah.
you are suggesting me for further study in abroad, then which course will be suitable for me?
So right now, too, you can do IELTS and do for an MBA if you want to. Along with MBA, a professional course will help because finance and accounting is growing in all the countries, and that's where a lot of the students, if you see here also, they are doing a lot of the courses like CPA, CMA, ACCA, which are globally recognized qualifications. And that if you can take it up one qualification along with that and parallelly study for MBA, that should be a plus for you, right? So you can do in that way. In that way also you will have a professional degree which you couldn't do your CA, unfortunately. Now you can do a CPA or a CMA or something like that and kind of upgrade your qualification also, right? Because there you will not get immediate job if you're going on an IELTS. And then, so if you have a professional qualification here only, if you have passed, then I think you can do it better way, right?
Yeah, yeah, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yep. Yes, Zaki, next Prathamesh, I guess.
Hello, sir. I'm
Yeah.
actually in a last year of a Bachelor of Commerce at Mumbai University. So
Okay.
I'm actually looking forward for a combination of CMA plus a CFA, and the target roles would be a business or management consultancy or a.
Okay. So Pratmesh, I think if you're looking for a business consultancy and all, then SEMA is not appropriate. I would
Mhm.
say business consultancy, if you're going into a core business consultancy, then MBA would play a better role in that. So professional qualification, I don't think so. They will have that kind of aptitude of, I would say, consultancy, a business consultancy sort of thing. SEMA, I would say, is not that popular option right now because though it was a very, very good course since a few years back, but now we are seeing USCMA is somewhat accepted, I would say, at least
Mhm.
50% accepted in most of the corporates. So
Mhm.
instead of SEMA, I would say CPA,
Mhm.
CMA USA would be a better
Mhm.
choice for you rather than a UK SEMA,
Mhm.
because you see that there are hardly UK companies in India, right?
Yes,
You can't even
absolutely.
count on fingers. I
Yeah,
can count 1,000 companies in India which are US based. Deloitte,
absolutely.
KPMG,
Yeah,
Apple, Goldman Sachs,
yeah.
JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, so many US companies you will find, Wells Fargo, but you will not find any UK company. It doesn't make any sense to do
Yeah.
any UK related based literature here,
Okay.
unless IFRS or something like
Uh-huh.
that.
Actually, sir, I just want to add a bit further because I actually had got an admission in UK for masters in finance. So, in UK, like how would that combination would work? Like a CFA plus masters in UK and
If
followed
you
by
are
other.
planning to go to UK, Pratmesh, then I would suggest that SEMA is a better choice because SEMA is accepted in UK, right? It's a
Oh.
terrific choice. I would say UK SEMA,
Mhm.
I mean, is very, very widely recognized there because
Mhm.
CPA, anyways, you are not eligible because you haven't completed your graduation. Else,
Yeah.
I would say CPA also there is much accepted, but compared to SEMA and ACCA, I think they steal the show in UK. to be honest, actually.
Mhm.
So if you're going with SEMA and planning to move to UK, I think you're on a right track. Don't lose the
Yeah.
track. Stick to
Yes,
UK SEMA.
absolutely, sir. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Pratnesh.
Bye.
Yes, next, Sneha. Yes, Zaki, can you just unmute Sneha?
Yeah, sir. Sure. Hi, Sneha. Sneha.
I think she's not able to. Vidhi.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Vidhi. Tell me.
Sir, I have completed my CMA India and I am doing my CA final as well. And one group at CA final is pending. So, I mean, how should I proceed to get job in India only?
So you have already completed ICAI?
Yeah, ICW in this
So
December
see, what
2019.
is happening with this right now, the US based MNCs are hiring in India a lot, and that's where you are seeing that your Indian qualifications are not giving you a job in India itself. That is why I was talking about with US China relationship. A lot of the US based companies have set up their shared services in India here, and they are hiring a lot of CPAs, CMAs, and all sort of things. So I would suggest ICAI right now is not a better choice in your way. You will have to do some another qualification in
Yeah,
order to get more acceptability in the US based MNCs. So anything on US CPA or CMA would
yeah,
definitely make a good choice for you.
I'm doing CA as well. My CA final one group is in pending in CA and I'm writing in this November exam. And after CA, I'm thinking of joining US CPA.
That makes sense, Vidhi. If the exams get cancelled in November, I think you can still stick to CPA if you want, and you can start off with. But if you think that the C exams will be there in November, which I think really it's looking little dicey for me because of these so many cases and all. But if you think like that, then you stick to CA, and I would have suggested that you do both parallelly and start slowly CPA. If not, you can
Okay, okay.
kind of see how it goes. But right now, what we are thinking is ICAI will not play much role in India. Currently, seeing the global markets. Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Vidhi. Next. Yes, Zaki, next. Zaki, can you just unmute Deepika Tatuskar or Ashwin Chaudhary or Vaibhav Pandi? Zaki, hello.
Yeah, sir. I haven't unmuted them.
Hello.
Rizwan.
Hello.
Rizwan. Yeah, Rizwan, go ahead.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Rizwan.
Sir, I want to get into investment banking, sir. How can a CPA help me in that?
Sheikh Rizwan, if you are moving into investment banking, so like there are a lot of profiles in investment banking. So which area you want to target should be really clear, right? Are you planning to go into equity research?
Sir, M&A, sir.
Uh-huh. Come again.
M&A, sir. Mergers and acquisitions.
Mergers and
Mergers and
acquisitions.
acquisitions.
Yes. So M&A, I don't think so. CPA would do a good job there. CFA would add CFA would be more appropriate if you're planning to go into those profiles in investment banking. And that also the qualification is not the criteria there. You'll need to have a relevant experience, 1 or 2 years, and then you can kind of move into those profiles. So my suggestion would be you can join JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley in their financial reporting operations, and internally you can take a IGP. After 2-3 years, you can move within their operations to another role also. So that would be a better choice for you than to directly climbing to M&A, because not many mergers are happening right now in India, but overall globally they are happening because of the COVID. A lot of the companies are going into losses, so a lot of acquisitions are happening. But in India right now, that is not much. I would say so. Better choice would be to go into their financial reporting or any of their accounting profiles, and then switch over to that profile which you like after 2 years. Does it make sense, Rizwan?
Yes, sir. And MBA finance, sir, will that help me?
MBA finance will not have no value unless and until you are doing it from IIMs, right? So MBAs are really not acceptable.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, Vaibhav.
Vaibhav.
Hello.
Yeah, Vaibhav, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, Vaibhav, go ahead.
Sir, this is Ashwin.
Yeah, Ashwin, go ahead.
Sir, good evening, sir. Sir, actually, I needed a bit of help on my career path. Right, like I am being stuck for last 6 years in my CA final first group.
Okay.
I was I stick with a small medium firm during the time, so that I don't lose touch with my CA. But right now I'm finding it difficult to get into corporate jobs, and mostly I prefer audit area, IT audit or something like that. So what would be the better choice you think right now for me?
So if you were doing CA for 6 years and now planning to move to IT related section, so I would suggest that I mean if your entire specialization is on that, a good qualification plus a CISA would be a good thing, right? So like if you
Okay.
can go for a certified internal audit and a CISA, that should be a good combination, and you can straight away leave CA because you have already attended so many times. And I would say you can quit CA and move on to this. And then once you kind of get
Yeah.
a job, again start CA. There is no one stopping you. I think you have spent enough time on chartered accountancy qualification, and you should make a move on. That is what is my view.
Okay, so that's the thing. So actually, just the one group was pending, and that just kept on hanging on me that I should
No,
get it
I think we
completed
should not
somehow.
be much attached to those sort of things, because now there are a lot of popular courses which have come. So gone are those
Okay.
days where people used to do CA and it is sufficient. You might see in today's webinar only a lot of chartered accountants are asking what can they do apart from chartered
Yeah.
accountant. That
Right.
itself shows that CA itself is not sufficient to capture in
Okay.
this market, right? So I would suggest that you have spent so much of time. Yes, if you would have given only 1 or 2 attempts, I would have said that you stick to CA. But you've given almost 6 attempts, so I'd say move on and start CIA plus CISA or something like that and get settled down in internal audit profile.
Sir, whether CPA will be better or CIA will be better for an audit field?
Audit field CPA should CPA is little widely recognized in statutory audit as such. But if you're going into the core
Okay.
internal audit, I think so. A lot of the time, what happens, Ashwin, is people do CPA plus CIA, right? They don't do a
Okay.
CIA standalone. So that you'll need
Okay.
to see how you want to bring both. Or I would say the entire CPA itself would be sufficient in that case, right? So it's up to you how
Okay.
you want to do it.
Okay. So, and are there jobs just for a CI? Like, say, if I don't complete my CA, will there be jobs just for a CIA certification? Because I
Yes,
guess
definitely
CPA is
they are. CPA also, there are huge jobs. So we have placed so many people yesterday. If you would have observed us on LinkedIn, if you would have followed us, so a lot of the people who were CA entered dropouts, right? I mean,
okay.
the CA dropouts, they left CA and did CPA and now are well settled in EY and all. So
Okay.
that's not a very big thing, right? So nowadays they are hiring, as I've already said, that big fours are now aggressive in all these global qualifications.
Okay, so even CIA can give me better opportunities if I don't go for CPA and CIA.
See, CPA, if you go for fresher, as a fresher, you will get easily job. If you go for a CIA, then you'll need to have 1 or 2 years of relevant experience. Straight away on the
Okay,
basis of CIA, it is little tough, I would say. That's what is my
so
answer.
I have experience. I have been working with 6 years, but I don't think the small firms they will recognize the small firms experience.
No. They'll recognize only big fours. So
Yeah,
that's what we
that's
need to do. Okay.
yeah. Okay, thank you, sir, so much.
Thank you. Yes, Zaki. So Vardhaman, I
Yeah.
have a question. Yes. Vaibhav.
Well, hello. Well, yeah. We can ask now.
I think I'm not able to hear Vaibhav. Zaki, can we take one last question, because I want to move between 8 o'clock. I have only 5-10 minutes to kind of talk about it then.
Yeah, sir, sure.
Deep Kumar.
Hello.
Yeah, Deep, tell me.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Sir, good evening. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Not a problem.
Sir, I just want to ask you something that, sir, I'm in second year of my BCom. I've just completed my first year. And, sir, I just want to know that do CMA US have entrepreneurship opportunities?
US CMA, is it?
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay. And, sir, I just also want to ask one thing, sir. No, I was thinking to do FRM with my CMA US. Would it help?
FRM should be very good with CFA. With US CMA, I would say US CMA standalone in itself is sufficient if you want to go into FP&A. You don't need to do an FRM again. But if you're looking to combine something or do a additional qualification along with US CMA, then FRM also holds good, because it kind of exposes you to internal FP&A and it kind of exposes you to the risk operations also. That can also be a good combination, not a problem. I think you can go around with both.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes. So now we are coming into the last section, which is there. So one question NK asked, in India, I see a better qualification than US CPA. I think that's a ridiculous, I would say, to answer that question, because no one is greater, neither CA, neither CPA, neither ACCA, neither CFA. Everyone is having its own place. So in US companies, CPA is better. In India, if you're going to Cognizant, Capgemini, Deloitte, you have so many US companies, right? So US CPAs plays a very big role. When you're going to you're going to Aditya Birla Group, then chartered accountancy is a better qualification. So it really depends on which company, which profile, which specialization you want to go in with NK, and there you can do it. So I would say that's little unfair to compare the professional qualifications and all. That's not a good thing, I would suggest. So last part, which is the storytelling, which I'll take for 5-10 minutes, and then I think we should sum it up, because 7 to 8 o'clock was the time, and I've already surpassed the time by another, I think, 5 minutes extra. So storytelling is one of the most important art, because see, a lot of the people who are whom you're working for, right, in the companies or in the corporates, you must know how to present your thing, right? Now, suppose if you're going for a review, so you must know how do you kind of present your case there. So when you're writing any email also, you will show what are the facts of the case, right? What have happened, what is a business case for this, and why should I select this project? So that is how the storytelling these days is becoming very, very popular in corporates or in the professional world now, because various companies are seeing that art in a lot of the people, that how good he's able to narrate the story, how good he is able to convince me, right? So it is all about partnering and convincing the crowd there, right? It's all about convincing your businesses, it's all about convincing your partners. So what is that convincing thing is the storytelling art. So you need to give a big good kind of case for your particular thing. For examples, what are some of the examples? Now suppose the finance head have asked me, Shripal, let us kind of approve this software budget, say for $5 million. And now he says me, Shripal, you present a business case that why should I approve this $5 million software budget? So what will you do? You will build a story around it. What is a story? That is the business facts of the case. What are the facts of the case? What is the SOW? What are the agreements? And what is the revenue we would generate if we spend that amount on this particular thing? If you are able to narrate that story, if you are able to narrate your particular points in a facts and in a case format, that is more likable these days in the corporate. And that is one skill people are seeing, that communication is becoming a very, very important part. So in storytelling, I would say the art of articulating your story, art of articulating your part, your point of thing is very, very important. And that is one thing you'll need to be having. So these are things which will not be taught. These are the things which you will need to know: how you built up your facts of the case, how do you present it to your finance controllers or to your managers or to your bosses, and how do you convince them. You will need to have a reasons, you need to have the points or rationale behind why do you want to go for this particular project, or why do you don't want to go. Now suppose an audit case, man. Now how is storytelling good in audit? Now suppose in audit you have come with certain issues, that this receivable is taking a lot of time, that the partner kinds of ask you that, Shripal, why is that this customer is not making the payment on time? So what do? You do a storytelling. That is known as the art of storytelling. What do? You present the facts of the case. You are explaining how the facts of the case are there, what have happened, why this customer is not paying, this is his problem. Since last previous years, he used to pay very nicely. Now he is not able to pay. So you built a story. Are you able to understand, guys, what I am talking? Does it make sense? Yes, everyone, how we are kind of talking about this. So you built a case around it, and you kind of explain your point to that particular thing. You can't straight away tell them that, yes, this customer is not making payment, so I can't do, so I'm following up. That's not the way you converse with the corporates, right? With the heads. You need to build a case around it. You need to build a story around it. Ki, yes, this customer have been paying consistently. You'll do some analysis. You will show some graphs. You will show some figures. You will show DSOs. what is the daily sales outstanding, how many days he used to make the payment, suddenly he's not making it. So this is how you will need to talk to any of the corporate leader. You just can't talk directly and all. You need some supportings in the form of, yes, that's what Sriram is telling, like in the form of cases or facts, and then you present it in the front of the partner. Today I see a lot of the people, their hands get shaken when they go to the partners in the big fours, right? Because they get really worried what the partner will ask them. So storytelling is a very very good skill to have around, and to kind of make it very very nicely in a good story basis pe bolne ke liye ki sir, this is what have happened, and this particular case we are not able to receive the vouchers, or we are not able to get the supportings for this, and thus I have not audited this particular line item. Are you getting it, guys? This is one art where a lot of the peoples are struggling in corporates. They are not able to communicate properly because they are not presenting their case properly. You should come out with certain points. Always have a book in your hand, right? Always take a notepad and keep noting down points whenever you're going to your manager, finance controller, CFOs, and whatever he's telling, keep noting down in a notepad and underline that particular points and throw some research on it, and then come to him and kind of present your case, right? This is one thing which I think Steve Jobs used to do fantastic. If you see Steve Jobs, I'm not able to share my screen today because of the technical glitch, or else I would have shown you in a YouTube one very good video of you, Steve Jobs, where he presented the Apple MacBook, right? Where he presented the, so he is the father of storytelling, I could say, because the way he presents, the presentation skills is something which you need to kind of, I would say, see it in Steve Jobs, right? So I mean, in YouTube, when you see Steve Jobs video, you can just put Steve Jobs launch of Apple Mac. The way he presented was superb, actually. So tomorrow when Kapil's session, I will also be there. That time I can throw some light on those sessions, because today the spoiler have come in form of some technical things in my laptop. But again, in tomorrow's session, I think the storytelling way we could be little more detailed, and should show you some live examples of how people present, how people market their skills. Storytelling is all about marketing your skills, right? It's all about telling your own story and justifying why you are telling this, that particular thing, right? So this is something, there are so many examples of so many areas where you need to correlate the facts of the case. What is the summary? What is the action you would have taken? Had you been in the CFO's place, what would you have done? So these are certain points you will come across in that particular way, all right? So just today, so I think I'll close it off, because this was 1 hour session only from 7 to 8. And thank you so much for attending this 1 hour 15 minutes of session. Though I have spoken so much about so many qualifications today, tomorrow we should have some fantastic time with Kapil, whereby we'll talk about how to move abroad and what are the opportunities, what are the visas you need to apply, what are the things you need to go around. So I'll be there along with Kapil, and I think we'll have a fantastic time tomorrow also. Sorry for that 5-10 minutes of glitch which have happened, else I would have closed off my session at 8 o'clock itself. And thank you so much again, guys. I am available on LinkedIn. You can join it with me. Tomorrow we'll have little extended session, and whereby we will explain a lot of this personality development skills and all sort of stuff. So today I have just confined it to the global qualifications, Big Four service lines, Big Four's work, and what is the future of the accounting, how it looks like. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot, and stay connected and on LinkedIn and everywhere. Thank you so much. Thanks, Zaki. You can just end the.
Yeah, sir. Sure, sir.
Thank you, guys.